You likely know that you take a tax deduction for having minor children in your home. But did you know that many of the same benefits apply to taking care of an adult in your home? These benefits can even apply when the adult is not your spouse. Hi, I'm Nisha, and I create videos to help women over 50 take control of their finances and build a brighter financial future. Whether you're just getting started or looking to improve your financial strategy, you're in the right place. If you're currently taking care of an adult or may need to care for an adult in the future, stay tuned. The adult in question could be a spouse or a parent. It could also be an in law, friend, or any other non relative. As with everything else, the IRS has requirements that you must meet before you can claim any tax relief for being a caregiver. Be certain you meet the requirements. The IRS is a real stickler on the adult care who claim them. Taking on the role of a caregiver for an adult can be a rewarding yet challenging responsibility. Beyond the emotional and physical demands, it also comes with financial considerations, which is where potential tax relief can provide some respite. However, the IRS has strict guidelines to ensure that only those genuinely burdened by these responsibilities can benefit. Understanding these requirements is crucial to avoid any issues when filing for relief. Typically, to claim an adult care credit, the person you're caring for must be dependent. This means they must have a certain relationship to you and meet specific living arrangements and income criteria. For instance, they must reside with you for more than half of the year and earn below a certain threshold, making it clear that they rely on your support. The dedicated time and resources you spend on their care must align with the IRS stipulations. Expenses that are eligible for deduction typically include medical care, household expenses directly related to their care, and other essential support services. The intricacies of differentiating between what is deductible and what is not can be daunting, especially considering the overlapping responsibilities caregivers often face. Consulting dedicated IRS publications or a tax professional can provide clarity and ensure that you are correctly documenting and claiming these expenses. Documentation is key as the IRS requires diligently kept records on all expenses related to caregiving. You can claim an exemption for each dependent, adult or child, that meets the requirements. These are the requirements for a non child to be claimed as a dependent. Number one, you cannot be claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return. Neither can your spouse. If you filed a joint return, a dependent can have a dependent in the eyes of the IRS. Number two, the adult cannot be married and filed a joint tax return. Number three, the adult must have either lived with you for the entire year or meet the IRS's requirement for relatives that do not have to live with you. See the latest IRS information on that. Number four, the adult cannot be claimed as a qualifying child on someone else's return, including yours. A dependent can only be counted once. Number five, the adult's gross income must be less than $3,700. Number six, you provided 50% or more of financial support for the year. And seven, the person is not employed as your maid, housekeeper, or similar service provider. Your non-family employee can't be claimed as dependent. Number eight, the adult must be a U.S. citizen, Canadian or Mexican resident, U.S. national, or resident alien. Under the dependent care tax credit, Up to 35% of the cost of your dependent's expenses for care can also be claimed as a tax credit. A credit is a much better deduction if the expenses allowed you to work or to look for work. Of course, there are several requirements for this as well. Unless it is your adult child or spouse, the adult must not have been able to care for himself due to physical or mental deficit. They must also have lived with you for more than 6 months and either be your dependent or would have been your dependent, except one or more of the following reasons. Their income was over the $3,700 limit, the adult filed a joint return, and lastly, you or your spouse is filing jointly, could be claimed as a dependent on another's return. It is possible to receive some tax relief from caring for an adult, even if that adult is not related to you. However, be warned, the IRS looks very closely at these types of deductions and credits. Be sure that you qualify because there is an excellent chance that it will be scrutinized sooner or later. Caring and providing for an adult is a big responsibility, both personally and financially. Be sure to contact a tax professional to help you wade through the details. You must keep specific records to prove your eligibility for the tax benefits, or the deduction won't be allowed. Plan ahead and enjoy some relief on your taxes. Remember, it's all about taking small steps to create big changes. If you have questions or need more guidance, feel free to reach out. You can email me directly at info@westonfinancialservices.com for personalized advice or to share what your thoughts are on this video. I'd love to hear from you. Be sure to comment below and like and subscribe. As always, I'm cheering for you. Until next time, take care.